How do I become a better drummer? That's a question all drummers ask themselves, and in this video I got 5 answers for you. What's up everyone, CJ here, hope you're all doing well. As musicians, most of us always strive for better. How do I become a better musician? So in our case, how do you become a better drummer? Well, in this video I got 5 tips for you on how to become a better drummer. So without further ado, let's start with tip number 1. Get a practice pad already. I've mentioned this before, most recently in my practice pad videos, which you can watch right up here if you haven't. But seriously, if you don't have a practice pad, get one. There are a range of different practice pads out there, and you don't really need to get an expensive one to get the job done. And if you're on a really tight budget, you can even get a mouse pad as a practice pad. Most of them are super cheap, and sometimes you can get them for free if you ask your school or your workplace. No matter how you do it or which one you get a practice pad. I mean, they hardly take up any space. They're extremely portable, and you can just chuck them in your backpack with a pair of sticks. You can bring it to your rehearsal space, you can bring it to a park and play outside, you can bring it to a gig. Yes, I know, it's not a drum set, but you can do warm-ups with it, you can practice sticking patterns, and honestly, you can even practice songs on your practice pad. And the big plus here is that you can bring it with you anywhere. If you're complaining that you never have time to practice on your drum set, well then, get a practice pad so you can work on it at home and then apply your practice from the practice pad to your drum set. Seriously, get a practice pad. Now, before we get into tip number 2, I want to remind you that if you want some extra bonus content besides the videos that I post here on YouTube, you can join the channel membership. All my channel members get access to downloadable content from every drum lesson that I post, and if you become a full kit member, you also get access to some exclusive bonus lessons and some behind the scenes footage. Tip number 2 is to record yourself while practicing. When I went to MI, this was one of the first things that almost all teachers told us, to record ourselves while we're practicing. And the best thing is, you don't need any fancy studio equipment to do this. Just grab your phone and start recording. You can either do this just with audio to analyze your sound and listen to yourself while you're playing, how you sound and how you play, but honestly, why not film yourself from the start? I mean, that way you get the best from both worlds. If you film yourself, you can both listen to yourself and watch yourself playing. You can check your posture, your grip around the sticks, you can see if you're hitting the drums or the cymbals in a weird angle or if your arms are looking like this. Recording yourself is very important to notice your own flaws while playing the instrument, and it will definitely help you progress. A good rule of thumb is to set up the camera in front of you, as long as you can basically get your entire body in view. One thing you should do to challenge yourself is to record yourself during your next practice session, and then you record yourself in about 2 weeks during that practice session, and then in another 2 weeks. When you check all 3 videos, I promise that you will notice differences in your playing in every video. This kind of correlates to tip number 2, to record yourself. Only this way, if you practice with a mirror in front of you, you get to watch yourself in real time and analyze your playing. If you visit a music college, for example, most often all of the drum practice rooms have mirrors in them, so the students can watch themselves in real time while they're practicing. Again, this is a fantastic way to analyze your playing, and once you start practicing with a mirror next to your drum set, don't be surprised if you react like, "Whoa, what? I sit like that?" Or, "Man, am I really gripping my drumsticks that hard?" Try it at different angles too. Put it on your left side, on the right side, in front of you, at a corner angle. I promise you guys, even though it might feel strange to watch the mirror image of yourself practicing drums, it'll definitely help you practice more efficiently. Now, on to tip number 4. I started drumming right before I turned 11, and it took me about a year into my drumming before I started practicing to music. And when I look back at it, I wish I started playing to music a little bit earlier. However, it doesn't matter when you start, just do it. Practicing the music not only pushes you to keep time with the music you're playing to, which is great by the way, but it also forces you to adapt your playing to different genres of music. Assuming, of course, that you practice to different types of music. But most importantly, It's so much fun. There is not a single drummer who hasn't dreamt of playing with their favorite band or favorite artist. And when you play the music, you can sort of just drift off and imagine yourself playing with that artist. And if you're watching this and you're fairly new to drumming, start off simple. I can recommend playing to songs like Billie Jean, Back in Black, We Will Rock You, and Seven Nation Army. There are so many songs that are extremely beginner friendly, and if you start there, you're just gonna get better. Okay, so if you're practicing the drums and you still go to school or you have a day job just like anyone else, it's easy to fall into that pit of, I gotta practice as much as possible for a short amount of time. Don't get me wrong, that is very ambitious. First of all, you can practice whatever and however you want. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. However, what I can tell you from experience is that it's usually better to focus on one thing instead of trying to practice 5 different things in a small time window. Some of you out there may practice for hours at a time, and some only have a 20-30 minute window to practice drums. Everyone's different. Instead of cramming as much as you can into your practice session, try to focus on one thing and work on that as much as possible. You're just gonna stress yourself out and half-ass your practice if you try to do too much in one sitting. Another bonus tip for you is to try to come up with a practice schedule. So for example, let's say you have 3 days a week where you can practice for 1 hour. Write down what you're gonna practice for that hour for those days. That way, you train yourself to focus on what you need the most. You gotta see your brain as a CPU. And if you start up too many things at once, it's gonna run really slow. Nothing bad is gonna happen if you take a few days off from practice. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber yet, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to stay updated whenever I release a new video. Now, if you're a beginner and you wanna learn some beginner drum fills that make you sound pro, you can check out this video right here. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and good luck with your drumming. I'll see you soon.